You didn't forget them, you just found something else to feel instead. And nobody told you that's one of the most dangerous things a human mind can do. Emotional replacement is not a coping mechanism you choose, it's one your unconscious mind chooses for you. When a feeling becomes too heavy grief, longing, shame, rejection, the brain doesn't always process it. Instead, it redirects it. It finds a substitute stimulus, something that produces enough sensation to mask the original wound. You don't cry at the breakup, you binge watch 5 seasons of a show you don't even like, you don't grieve the friendship, you shop, you eat, you work 70-hour weeks, you don't face the loneliness, you swipe right again and again on people you already know you don't really want. This is emotional replacement and it runs silently beneath everything. Here's what makes it so dangerous: it looks exactly like living. Psychologists call this phenomenon affective substitution, the brain's tendency to redirect unprocessed emotional energy toward accessible, lower risk outlets. Here's the mechanism. The limbic system, the emotional core of your brain, is always seeking resolution. It wants emotions to complete their cycle. But when the source of pain feels too threatening, too complex, too permanent, too tied to someone you loved, the brain creates a detour. It doesn't delete the emotion, it just reroutes it. This is why a person who can't grieve a parent's death becomes obsessed with controlling everything in their house. Why someone who can't admit loneliness becomes addicted to the idea of being needed at work. Why someone who can't face a failing marriage starts a fitness obsession not for health, but to have something to win at. The replacement gives you the sensation of emotional resolution without the actual work. And the original wound, it stays, perfectly preserved, waiting. Emotional replacement wears many masks. You need to learn to recognize them. 1. Compulsive productivity, when working becomes a way to avoid feeling. 2. Romantic distraction, jumping into a new relationship not because you're ready, but because the feeling of being wanted temporarily fills the void. 3. Substance numbing, not addiction in the clinical sense, but just enough to take the edge off what you haven't processed. 4. Social media consumption, using the emotional reactions of strangers to drown out your own unmet needs. 5. Anger displacement, you can't confront the real source of your pain, so you get angry at everything else. 6. Hyper focus on others, taking care of everyone around you, so you never have to look inward. 7. Nostalgia addiction, living mentally in the past because it feels safer than sitting in the present emotion. None of these look like trauma responses, that's exactly the point. The cost of emotional replacement is not paid immediately, that's the cruelest part. It compounds quietly. The unprocessed grief becomes chronic numbness. The avoided loneliness becomes an inability to be truly intimate with anyone. The redirected anger becomes a personality sharp, defensive, exhausting to live with. You don't feel it happening. You just one day wake up and realize you haven't genuinely felt something real in years. And you have no idea who taught you not to. The antidote to emotional replacement is not more feeling, it's directed stillness. Sit with the discomfort long enough to ask, what is this actually about? Not what triggered it. What is it about? The grief beneath the anger, the longing beneath the numbness, the fear beneath the obsession. You don't have to fix it all today, but you have to name it. Because the emotion you replace today becomes the behavior pattern you explain away tomorrow and the identity you're trapped inside 10 years from now. The feeling you avoid doesn't disappear, it just goes underground and runs your life from there.